Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to explore the Mail Opt-in module. We've got one here. I've got it hooked up to my MailChimp account. And this is great for getting people's email addresses added to your email lists for your various mail providers. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is enable the Visual Builder. Let's go down to where we want to work. I've got a section here with a column with a single row. I'm just going to add a new row underneath. I'll make it a single column. And it's going to prompt us to put in a module. Divi comes with all these modules by default. You get another 12 also when you've got WooCommerce installed for selling products. Okay, so there's our email opt-in right there. Just going to left click. And as you can see, it's put something in there, which is nice place to start. So we'll start off with the title, whatever it is you want to say, don't miss out, or and you can put in what you want your button to say down here. We've got our title in there. And of course you've got content here, and it's like any other WordPress text area. You can add media to it if you want to. You can make things link to various things if you want to. Well, I'm just going to leave it just like that because I've got nothing particular to say about this today. If you want to add a footer credit down under your button there, you can do here. Put in whatever you want. Do an alt code. Alt 0169 is the copyright symbol, and this is like 2020. And as you can see, that appears right there. Of course, you can use dynamic content if you want to, or anything you want. Here's a little dynamic content button, and this is common to all Divi modules also. And you can grab any data from your database using this. Current date, put in current date. And as you see, you can put in the current date there. But for me, I really don't want anything. You can put something before or after the date if you want. But I'm going to leave that just as it is. Let's trash that one. There we go. Great. Now, moving on down, this is the important part. This is where you connect it to your MailChimp account, or there's all kind of different providers. I'm using MailChimp today because that's what I use most of the time. And you can select a list from your MailChimp account here. But of course you've got to hook it up first. And if you're not hooked up, you'll need to hit the add button. And it'll prompt you for your MailChimp account name and an API key. And it's probably similar for the other mail providers as well. So you put in your account name there, and then you'd have to generate an API key. With MailChimp, you just go to your account and then go to extras, and you'll see a button that says create API key. And when you're done, just hit submit and it should find your list for you. But I'm already registered, so I can cancel that one. Down below you can choose the fields that you want. If you want a single name field, you just switch this one to on. Or if you just want to show first name, you can do that, or show last name. You can do that obviously as well. But I find with these things, the less amount of details you ask a person for, the more likely they are to put in and submit to your email list. So I'm going to use a single field, just name. They can put in what they want as long as they got the email. That's the important part. And you can add custom fields if you want to, but you have to build them first. I haven't built any in my MailChimp account yet. Success action, that's obviously what happens when they subscribe. You can display a message and just type in here what you want your message to say. Whatever's appropriate to whatever it is you're doing. If you want to, you can use Google Plus or something like that, or Google capture I should say, and again you'd have to have an API key to get that going, but there's an option there for you if you want to use a spam service. I find with email opt-ins I really don't get much spam for them, whereas you do from just regular contact forms and stuff. If you want this form to link to something like another website page or another promotion, put the link in there. Obviously if it's on the same site you want it in the same window. If it's on a different website you'll want it to open in a new tab, but I don't want a link in mine. Background. Well, let's just make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to go into the background. I'm going to put in a background color. We used purple last time, let's use blue this time. And I'm also going to put in a background image, right here, image. We've done a whole module on backgrounds. If you want to learn more about backgrounds, have a look at the playlist below, it'll be in there. So we've got color, gradient, image and video. I put in a color. I'm going to put in an image now. And because I put in the image you can't see the color, but if we roll down, I'm on the image tab, we can blend the two. Background image blend. You can get some fantastic effects doing this. I'm probably just going to use multiply because for me that works really well. You can read the writing and you can see some of the image in the background. But with hue and saturation and things like that you can get some amazing effects going. Very sort of psychedelic. So play around with that and get whatever you want there. There we are, we're good to go with our background here. So we're ready to move on to the design tab. I'm not going to put an admin label in there, it's obvious what it is. So let's move on to our design tab, and we got layout options. You can have, let's move this up to the top so we can see it a bit better. I'll move this down here. We've got the layout on the right, we've got at the moment. Opposite, body on top, text on the fields on the bottom, and the opposite of that. Now I'm quite happy with that one right there. But you can also, if you wanted to make both these fields on the same line, you could say name full width no, I'll make it about half the size, and do the same with the email. And as you can see they've dropped down to the same line there. We haven't got our last name so we don't need to mess with that. We can go in, we can customize our fields. You can make the background colors different if you want to. I really don't, I'm happy with the way it is. Text color and focus background color. Focus background color is when you've got your cursor in there. So just find a light blue or something. There we go. And then when I focus on it you can see it goes light blue. But again I'm happy to have that white, so that's fine. If you want to add any more space, top and bottom, you can do it with the field's margin and padding right here. We put 20 on the top and 20 on the bottom. You can see it's just giving it more space, top and bottom of our fields right there. But again, I'm happy with the way that that is. Give it 20 on the top and bottom with padding. What it does, it makes the field wider there, and you can change your font size within if you want to. But again, I'm happy with everything that goes on there. Okay, fields font, obviously you can change that and the size of everything here just like any other text, but I'm happy with the default settings on that. You can put a border around your fields if you want to. Just give it amount of pixels that you want. I guess you can't really see that well. Let's make it a white border, a yellow border. There we go, you can see that around there. And again, I really don't want a border, so you can just take that down to 0 to take it away. If you want to use focus borders, that means when you're clicked on it, a border will appear. You can do that by using this. And again, you'll just have to set the color. and the pixel amount. And when you click on it, it's got that green border around it. But again, I really don't need any of that, but it's another option that you can have if you want to. Bit of drop shadow if you want to. I don't think you'll even see it on there very much. Slightly under there, that's great. So let's move on down. Text, obviously you can change the text, title, body text to whatever you want. Just change the title. And to get to the title or body text or any of these elements, when you hover over them, they've got a little blue paintbrush there. To get directly to them, to edit styles, you can just click on the paintbrush for the one. There it is. It's taking this trait to H2. So let's just make it bigger. And let's make it bold. And capitalize it. There we go. And like with any text, you can do this with the text and the content. Results, message text, button text. Let's go into our button and just change the color on our button. Use custom styles for button. Text is fine. Text color is fine. I'll make the button background blue. And we'll make the border blue too. When we hover on the button, I'm going to change the blue to a darker blue. So if you click the little arrow, it'll give you a hover state, a desktop and a hover. This is common to all Divi modules as well. If there's an arrow, you've got an option to set a desktop or a non-hover state and a hover state being when your mouse is on top of it, obviously. And for the hover state, I'm going to just make this a darker blue. Not quite as dark as that. But I think I'll leave my button border the same color. Okay, good. So we're done with our button. I think we're pretty much done. Let's move on down. When you roll over it, you've got a little icon that appears here. If you want to show it, leave that on yes. And you've got all these elegant themes icons to choose from. If you don't, simply flip that to no. I'm going to leave mine on today. You can choose the icon color here and the placement right or left. And you can choose only to show it when you hover like it is at the moment, or you can have it there all the time by turning that to off. And I'm not going to make any text shadow. And again, with button margins, you can make space top and bottom by using margins. You can make the button fatter on top and bottom or taller by adding padding. That might help if I added a reasonable amount. There we go. I've got 30 top and bottom there if you want to make your button bigger or anything like that. But again, mine's fine with the default, so I'm just going to take that away. You can add a bit of button box shadow if you want to. Let's just put some under there. Okay, let's roll on down. Sizing. Well, if you want your module to be, at the moment it's going to fill up 100% of whatever the available width is, whether you're viewing on a desktop, tablet or mobile. You can drag this down so it only takes up 70% if you want to. And we can put it in the middle of this row by aligning it to middle, or the right obviously if you want to align it on the right. But mine, again, I'm happy with it being 100% of the available space. Spacing, it's like any other spacing module. We can put padding all around if we want to. Just put the number in, it'll put the pixels in for you. Hit the chain, it'll do the opposite side. And we've now got 50 pixel around. But again, I'm happy to have it as the default. And to return most values to a default, just go in there and delete the value that you've put in. And of course the margin is going to push it down or bring it up. Border, don't think I need a border around there. Box shadow, why not? There we go, that'll just lift it off the page a little bit. Don't need filters, don't need transform, don't need animation. Advanced tab, don't need anything here, so I think we're good to go. So let's save and see what we've got. Save the page changes, save draft or publish. and exit the Visual Builder. And there we are, we've got a nice little email opt-in form for collecting visitors' email addresses and names. So I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. Email opt-in forms are great things to have on your site. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.